Namaste, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, namaste.
Yeah.
We'll start with, as usual, we'll start with 3 ohms. Please take a deep breath. Oh. Please open your eyes. Sri Lakshmi will do the honors today. Go ahead, Sri Lakshmi.
ॐ योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचां मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोत्तं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि आबाहुपुरुषाकारं शङ्खचक्रासिधारिणं सहस्रशिरसं श्वेतं प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिं श्रीमते अनन्ताय नागराजाय नमो नमः। अथ समाधिपादः अथ योगानुशासनं योगः चित्तवृत्तिनिरोधः तदा द्रष्टुः स्वरूपे अवस्थानं वृत्तिसारूप्यम् इतरत्र वृत्तयः पञ्चतयः क्लिष्टाः प्रमाण विपर्यय विकल्पा निद्रा स्मृतयः प्रत्यक्ष अनुमान आगमाः प्रमाणानि विपर्ययो मिथ्या ज्ञानम् अतद्रूपप्रतिष्ठम् शब्द ज्ञानानुपाति वस्तुशून्यो विकल्पः अभावप्रत्ययालम्बना तमो वृत्तिर्निद्रा अनुभूत विषय असम्प्रमोषः स्मृतिः अभ्यासवैराग्याभ्यां तन्निरोधः। Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sri Lakshmi. So, although we have covered up to 17, she stopped at 12. She's not very familiar with the rest of the sutras. That is fine. So last week we stopped at 17, Sutra 17, and actually we covered from Sutra 13, correct? Or Sutra 12, 2 or 12, whatever. So let's switch to other screen here. Hold on for a second. Okay. This is where we stopped last week. 17, anyway. We started at 12. That's what I have, I think, on my notes. Correct. We started at 12 and ended at 15. So earlier, we saw about all the different types of chittavrittis. Then he says, how to get over this chittavrittis, how to get a control. And that's how we started last week with this sutra. It's the control of on the chittavrittis or of the chittavrittis by practice and attitude of detachment. When you relate to this world, all the activities in the world, all relationships in the world, you must have an attitude of detachment. So this is what he says. And actually, this attitude of detachment is the key factor in karma yoga. I don't want to go any great detail into that. So the rest of the sutras, up to Sutra 20, is about karma yoga, how to be in that state of karma yoga. This being detached from what you're doing. So that's why, that's how he starts in Sutra 12. So he says the vrittis can be controlled by practice, that is abhyasa, and vairagya abhyam, that is an attitude of detachment. And then he says, in the Sutra 13, he says, with the two practices, practice and detachment, established effort is practice. So he's defining practice. What is practice? He's defining, saying established practice. Dhita bhumihi, that's what he says. In the next sutra, he will say that. Let's move on to here. He says, among the two practices, in the next sutra, he says, how to do this? How does it become really steadfast? That's what he says. Dirgha kala nairantarya satkara sevito dridabhumihi. Very beautiful sutra. So, dirgha kala, for a very long time, nairantarya, uninterrupted, satkara sevito, with an attitude of detachment, and whichever way you want to say it, with devotion, with commitment. These are all the meanings for satkara sevito. So that indeed becomes firmly grounded, that practice becomes really firmly grounded when it is performed with earnestness for a long time without interruption. And then following that, he says, non-attachment is now describing what is detachment or non-attachment. The detachment is the fully engrossed awareness, complete mastery over it, where one is unaffected from what one sees and hears. Easier said than done, but this is introductory chapter, and actually up to Sutra 20 is a summary. So he's just giving making some introductory statements here. How by completely being detached from what we see and hear, the detachment becomes, the awareness becomes really solid in us. We become masters of awareness. And then he goes on to say that awareness actually develops when that awareness becomes deeper. Then you you develop an awareness with the Purusha. We spoke about the aspect of Purusha. And then we said that Purusha is that modem, which enables modem software. There is no part, there is no hardware part, there is no part in the body, which is the modem. It is just a software. It is the chitta, that programmed system, the chitta. So one part of that program is the modem, and that is the one which is the one which enables us to connect to the higher zones. So by awareness of the Purusha, one attains the supreme state of being unaffected by the gunas. The gunas are all the ones causes the reactions to us. We become angry, we become jealous, we become lustful. All these things are the gunas. So he says you become unaffected by the gunas. The gunas are happening, it is flowing, but we are unaffected. There are no chitta-vrittis. We are unaffected. As a person, we are unaffected. So then we saw in Sutra 17, by coming to this state, what do we achieve? And then he says, once we have that full good awareness, mastery over awareness, and we are unaffected by the gunas, vitarka vichara ananda asmita anugamat sampranyata. So by constant questioning, by reflection, and being in a state of ananda, which is what one gets, one is has the highest connectivity in state of samadhi. Asmita is the component which lets us experience what we experience in this world. So through that, we become extremely wise. That wisdom comes to us. So we place the question, and then we let go in that ananda, and then the answer comes back to us. So that state is called samprajñāta state. So this is a very high state of samadhi. That's what it is. Any questions up to here? Okay. So let's move on. Sutra 18. Sutra 18, 19, and 20. These three sutras are going to define to us, we will see, the states that we might get on the way to the samprajñāta state. That is the state that we described in Sutra 17. Before we get to that state, we may experience some of these states. So that's why you can consider this kind of an addendum to Sutra 17. So in Sutra 18, let's see what it says. Virama pratyaya abhyasa purvaha sanskara seshaha anya. Virama pratyaya abhyasa purvaha sanskara seshaha anya. So virama is ending. Pratyaya is convictions or beliefs. We have seen this word earlier too. Abhyasa, we know it is practice. Purvaha, although it says after here, by mistake, there is an error here. It should really say before. When I send you this piece, that correction will be there. So unfortunately, I could not correct the PDF, but I will send it to you without the error. So abhyasa purvaha together means before practice, not after practice, before practice. Sanskara means impressions. We came across this word during the pre-class. Does anyone recall? Any of the new participants, do you recall sanskara? No one. Okay, that's all right. I might have just said it in the passing. So sanskara means the klesha, the karma, and the vasanas, all three put together. These are the three components of sanskara. Actually, there is a PPT on that. Maybe I will, if we have time, I will show it today. It should be there as part of your notes also towards the end. I don't know how many of you have seen beyond chapter 4. There's quite a bit to read and study. So if you go beyond chapter 4 in the Sutra PDF, there's a lot of definitions, and if you keep reading, you will there is some discussion on this sanskara. So there is a picture there too. The same picture I will present later on. Anyaha is another or external or whatever, another or different or something else. That's what we say. Seshaha, in especially in Brahmin families, they will say Sesham or Seshaha. They don't use the word Seshaha, they will say Sesham. Anyone recall this? Sesham? New participants?
Remaining, like
Hmm?
remaining part of it, like Shesha means like the remaining or
Yeah, remaining that we already saw. It is there, remaining impressions, it says, right? So it is remaining. So this, we particularly use it in a particular context. Okay. Yeah, especially in the Brahmin families, this word is used during when we do the what we call as a Shradham, the annual thing for the departed soul, parents especially. It's called Shradham, the annual ceremony that we do. During that ceremony, at the end of the day, if there is something left over, next morning they will, and if anyone, if any of the adults see that and they want to eat it, they will say, "Oh, that is sesham," right? They will say it is sesham, and which means you don't touch it, don't eat it. So for many, I mean, until I came to Patanjali Yoga Sutra and I encountered this word, it was something like, oh, if you touch that, some great disaster will befall you. It's something like that. You just cannot touch it. If you touch it, you have to go and take a shower. Those days, I'm talking 50, 60 years back when I was really young. If you touch it, you have to go and take a bath again. Sesham just means what is left over. And this particular word is used only in the time of Shardham to indicate whatever food that was cooked yesterday and is left over should not be eaten today. Just discard it. This is true of every day, but on especially for Shardham, because of various mantras, etc., are being done, and that food is supposed to be eaten only for that day. So that's why, unfortunately, that sesham or sesha stuck to that particular day. But sesham just means remaining. That's all. I just want to clarify this point for you. And so, in effect, when beliefs have become inactive, this is not before sufficient practice. With only the sanskaras remaining is another active state. That is what we are saying. That's what is the summary of this. So before sufficient practice, purvaha, before sufficient practice, when there are beliefs that have become kind of inactive, then the only thing that is remaining is the sanskaras, right? The karma klesha are still there. The karma klesha and vasanas are still there. And he says, just with that, but the beliefs, convictions that we have had have have taken the back seat and they have been taken out. So that way you have evolved, and this it's a different state. This is not the samprajnataka state. That's what he's saying. This is not samprajnataka state. This is a different state. Any questions here? Okay, let's move on. Oops. So, Sutra 19, Bhava Pratyayo Videha Prakriti Layana. So, please remember that 18, 19, and 20 are sutras that is defining the states before we get to the final samprajnataka state, the highest state of samadhi. So, now he is describing one more state. What is that? Bhava. Bhava means anything related to existence or that which is created by Prakriti. Prakriti is divine God mother, correct? So we saw, I think, in the very first day, and then in the second week, I also made that, showed you that PPT presentation. Actually, I sent the PPT last night for all of you, for you to review whenever you want to. So there you can clearly see the first step in zone B is divine godmother. That is, Ishvara has handed over the creation to, he is only giving the input as what he wants as part of the creation, and then it is the responsibility of the divine godmother, whom we call as Prakriti, is responsible for creating everything. So Bhava is that which has been created by in nature, that is by Prakriti. Related to, I mean, obviously this is related to our existence, or that which is created by Prakriti. Pratyayo is beliefs. We have already seen this word a few times. Pratyayo means beliefs or convictions. Even in the earlier sutras, we saw that. Virama Pratyaya. So convictions, beliefs, all that. So Bhava Pratyayo means convictions and beliefs related to creation, right? Bhava Pratyayo means convictions related to convictions and beliefs related to creation. Like when there is an eclipse, I asked my mother once when she was probably 85, 86 at that time. I asked her, do you know how this lunar eclipse or solar eclipse happens? And then she said, yes, I know. I remember my mother is not educated. I don't think she went beyond elementary school. So I was taken aback. So I asked her, oh, you really know this? I struggled with this for 8 years while I was in school. So how does it happen? What is the phenomena? What is this phenomena? Why don't you explain this to me? He said, oh, okay, yeah. That Rahu snake comes and swallows the moon. That's what she said. So I had a good chuckle, and then I said, okay, no problem, but that's not what it is. Then I tried to explain to her, but it was very difficult for her to understand what I was saying. So I left it at that. Anyways, so these are some people's convictions. I mean, convictions and beliefs can be like this. Completely misconception, right? It is a misconception. So where this is what we are talking about, convictions. So what he says, when one has convictions related to creation or what has been created, what does Prakriti create? She creates everything. including chittas like us, correct? She has launched all the chittas. So when one has, so the next thing, he says, Bhava Pratyayo, convictions related to creation. Videha. Videha means it is actually two words. Vi plus Deha. Deha means body, physical body. Our physical body is Deha. I already said, Vi, that Vi means Visesha. Visesha Deha. Deha. Deha is Visesha Deha. Is shortened to Videha. Means without physical body. So what is without physical body? Without physical body are the ones that are in zone B, correct? The chittas, all the different chittas that are floating around in zone B. That is Videha, Visesha Deha. They are disembodied beings. So we are talking about disembodied beings or the world of spirits. Prakriti is energy or matter that is core to all of existence. So we call Prakriti as divine godmother. Layanam means to merge. So putting all the three words together, Videha Prakriti Layanam means merges into world of spirits. So what is merging into world of spirits? So he says, if you look at the summary, he says, when one has convictions or beliefs related to creation, what that has been created, they merge with the energy or program of Prakriti without physical body. So this is not very, this summary is not very clear and to fully understand. So what does it mean? This means Prakriti has created various things. And one of that are the various chittas. Some chittas have body, correct? Like me, like you. We all have body and the software and hardware, both are there. Us, plants, trees, whatever you see around, animals, all that. But there are still chittas that are hanging out in zone B. And some of them probably are deceased, meaning they came here, lived for 50, 60, 70, 100 years, or 200 years, whatever. And then they passed away. They went back. Then they came for a rebirth. Then again they passed away. So we don't know how many cycles they have gone. And maybe they are still waiting there in the disembodied state to come back. These kinds of disembodied beings are all there with their different levels of kleshas, karmas. Please understand that vasanas. All these things are still there. So if I am attached to a particular spirit, instead of calling a spirit, let us say, in my family, I have a guru, and I constantly pray only to that guru. Then I will only reach up to that state of that guru. If that guru had 50% avidya when he passed away, I will only get to that state maximum. At the max, I can get to only 50% vidya during my lifetime. And obviously, when I pass away, I may have maximum of 50% vidya. So that's the meaning of this. So if you get attached to any guru, anything for that matter, any disembodied being on whom you are praying, then you can only get up to that. But remember, our goal is not that. Our goal is to get the highest state. So that's what we must understand. If we are stuck to, say, a particular being, like, a guru, or there are so many of these beings that people focus on and pray to and keep them as number one in their lives. So remember, if you are one of them, you will only get to that level. No, but our goal here is to go beyond, much beyond, and merge with divinity, merge with Ishvara. Any questions here? Normally, I have a ton of questions here, so that's why I'm asking. So he's saying, I mean, Patanjali Muni is warning us here. He's saying, if you are doing such a thing, okay, do it at your own risk. You won't pass, you won't go beyond your guru's Vidya level. That's what he says. Sutra 20. Everyone has understood 19 very well, I think. So, okay. Shraddha Virya Smriti Samadhi Prajna Purvaka Iteresham. Shraddha Virya Smriti Samadhi Prajna Purvaka Iteresham. Shraddha, we normally say Shraddha. It's the same thing. Shraddha means faith. Virya is energetic disposition. Smriti, we know, is memory or the ability to recall, remembering, all that. Samadhi, the ultimate state of cosmically connected to a cosmically connected awareness in yoga. So, or the final goal of yoga practice, correct? Samadhi. Let's go. Prajna is that intuitive awareness or intuitive knowledge that comes from Samadhi. Purvaka is once again before there is an error. I will correct it. When you receive this text, it will be corrected for you. Iteresham, or iteresham means etc. or other states. So he explained a few states earlier, and now he's saying all other states. That's what he says. All other states, such as in the previous sutras, 17 through 19, actually 18 through 19. 17 is the ultimate, but before we get to 17 also he is included, that's why he says 17 to, that is also a state, the state of, in the state, 17 is also a state. So he says, in summary, he says, of these other such states are attained before getting to the state of samprajnataha. That is why that before is there. That purvaka is there to tell you, before you get to the samprajnataha state, other such states. What are those such states? Like you may be connected to this world of spirits, right? You may have a guru in your family and you're praying, like Madhvacharya, like Adi Shankara, or I mean even later saints, philosophers, whatever. Each family has one kind of a particular guru. You focus, you are attached to that guru and you focus, and your meditation, everything is based on that. That's what it says. Such states by faith or devotion, by energetic disposition, by remembering. So by faith, by energetic disposition, that is virya, by remembering, by recall, by memory, one can get to that cosmically connected awareness, and prajna, the deep knowledge through heightened intuition can occur to you. But remember, this is still you still, he says, you still have, I mean, this is latent, this is hidden. He's saying, although you may get to such states through all this, you may still have, you are still having the sanskaras. All those things have still not gone away. The kleshas, the karmas are still remaining. You are not gone to the highest state. That's what is reinforcing here. I'm going to stop here for a bit just to say that 18, 19, and 20 are three sutras which are warning us of the different states. I mean, it's not put down every single state that we might encounter. He's going to explain many things later on in chapter 2 and 3. He's not put down every single state, but he is warning us that before you get to the samprajnata state and you completely wipe out all your karmas and kleshas, you may get into these kinds of state by very, very strong energetic disposition, by using memory, etc. Any questions? Okay, then let's move on. So with this, we have completed the the introductory summary. So starting from Sutra 1 to Sutra 20 completes the first section or introductory summary. So let's move on and see what he says in Sutra 21. So Sutra 21 is the start of the second section in the current chapter, that is Samadhipada. This chapter is called Samadhipada because he's explaining everything about the state of getting to state of Samadhi. So he says, Tivra samveganam asannah. Tivra samveganam asannah. Tivra means very intense or keen. In Tamil we say, Romba Tivrama irukkan. That is, he is very intent of doing something, right? Tivra, that's what Tivra means, intense or keen. Samveganam. Samveganam means in equivalent or proportional speed. Asannah is obtained or approached. So what is obtained or approached? Let's see, in summary, any one of the previously referred states in Sutra 17 to 19, right? We saw many things in Sutra 17 to 19, that it is obtained, that is what is obtained. Asana, that is what is obtained or approached in a speed. So how will we get to these states? We will get to those states in a speed that is proportional to the intensity or effort that we are putting in. If we put in only 15 minutes of every day in Patanjali Yoga Sutra and the practice and in the sadhanas, we will get results proportional to that. If we put 4 hours, then it will be proportional to that. If you put 8 hours, it will be proportional to that. If you put 16 hours, it will be proportional. That's what he's saying. But real effort, it does not mean that, I just keep the book in front of me, but all my thoughts are somewhere else. That's not it. Real effort. So, Tivra samveganam asannah, based on one's intensity, the speed at which we are going to get the different states. it's directly proportional to that. So, I mean, this is this sutra sounds very logical, just like any scientific sutras, scientific laws that we have studied, correct? And then he goes on to explain, then he follows up with saying, how do we define those effort? How do we define that intensity, tivra? So in Sutra 22, he is defining that. Mridu madhya adimatravat tatah api visheshah. Mridu madhya adimatravat tatah api visheshah. So mridu is mild, madhya is medium or mediocre or in between. Adi is very high, much more high level or intense. Matravat. Matravat is by magnitude, in magnitude, that's what it means. So mridu, madhya, adi matravat, putting all those four words together, it means whether it is mild, mediocre, or intense in magnitude. What is this? The effort that we are putting in. Tataha, in this, or therefore, thus, all that. Api means also or indeed. Visheshaha, specific visheshaha, specific, particular, or distinguishing aspect. So he says, in this, in summary, in this indeed, the distinction is whether the experience intensity is gentle, moderate, or intense in magnitude. So based on that, based on the intensity, whether it is mild, moderate, or intense, yeah, the results are going to be based on that. That's the sutra. Any questions? Okay. Now, he has explained many things until this sutra. And he says, by putting all this effort, so far, it is all based on our effort, correct? So these are all up to, he has defined all these things about putting in our effort, how to get to that awareness state, how to be single pointed, how to have that single pointed focus and all that. This is how he says you can quieten the chitta vrittis and get to the highest state of samprajnata, the highest samadhi state. Then he gives an alternate. Supposing you are not able to do this. Supposing you are not able to do this. What can I do? So, in the next sutra, he says, or Sutra 23, Ishvara pranidhanatva. Ishvara pranidhanatva. Ishvara means God or Ishvara. In Patanjali Yoga Sutras, he defines God, that being which is in zone A. When I say being, it is only energy. It doesn't have a body. Cannot be seen, cannot be touched, cannot be tasted, nothing. You can only experience it. He refers by this name. For the first time, he's given you that name, Ishvara. Ishvara is that God, zone A. The supreme controller. You want to use that word supreme controller or the highest energy, whatever you want to call. Ishvara pranidhanatva. So pranidhanat means by surrender or complete devotion. Why is or? So actually you have to say or by complete surrender or devotion to Ishvara. That's what it means. Or by surrender to God or Ishvara. Similar states can be achieved. What states? All that we have seen up to Sutra 20. So Sutra 23 is the beginning of Bhakti Yoga. I'm sure Sri Lakshmi is hearing this along with her son. So Patanjali Muni has not discarded anything. We have to be patient. That's all. So here he says, or by surrender to God or Ishvara, you can get the same states that we have described earlier through what we have done through karma by understanding and by being in a state of detachment. We can by meditation or single pointed focus, awareness, prajna, all that. We got to the state of prajna. Otherwise, through the state of by complete surrender to the divine. Okay. Any questions here? This is the start, Sutra 23, the start of second section. So just remember that. And the next, I think almost 10 sutras are actually Bhakti Yoga, on Bhakti Yoga. So in Sutra 24 and going forward, he is giving the description of Ishvara or God, or the supreme controller, whatever you want to call. So in Sutra 24, he says, who is this God? We have to know, right? We have to understand who is this God. Klesha karma vipaka ashaihi aparimrishtah purusha visesha ishvarah. Klesha karma vipaka ashaihi aparimrishtah purusha visesha ishvarah. Who is this Ishvara? Ishvara, he ends it with Ishvara, meaning, who is this Ishvara? Ishvara is the rest of the things that he has said in that statement. Klesha. We already know the definition of klesha. Klesha is impure or impurities. So in the next chapter, as soon as we chart the second chapter, we will see the various kleshas. There are 5 types of kleshas. We will see all that. Klesha, impurity. Karma, we know what is karma. How based on our actions or inactions, also induced, which is actually, it is not just the actions, and it is actually induced by the reaction. How we do the karma. When we do a karma with attachment, that is why the karma yoga part, he kept on saying, be detached in what you're doing, and be detached in what you're doing. So if you are detached in what you're doing, that's what he says here. If you are not detached, then the karma is accumulated, induced by reaction, because when you are not detached, there is a reaction. And that reaction is what causes the karma. Vipaka is fruitioning of the karma. That is how we are reborn, right? When after death, when we are hanging around in zone B, and let us say after death, I've gone up with my software and I'm hanging around. I still have lots of karma. I have a big bag of karma. Then I have to wait until some part of that karma fruitions. When it fruitions is when I'll take a birth here. And that karma, that part of the karma, it is a big bag of karma I have, part of it, maybe 5 units of it has fruitioned. And that 5 units of karma that has fruitioned has to match with the couple here on earth. When it matches with that, I will get a chance to be reborn. So, Ashaihi is resting on or support of presence of Apara Mrishtaha. Sorry, Apara Mrishtaha, untouched. Untouched. That is the name, that is the meaning of that. Apara Mrishtaha means untouched. So putting all those words together, Klesha Karma Vipaka, Ashaihi, Apara Mrishtaha, means is untouched by the presence of the fruitioning of klesha or karma patterns. Who is untouched by the presence of the fruitioning of klesha or karma patterns? The last word, Ishvaraha. Ishvaraha is, that's how you have to read it. Ishvaraha is one who is untouched by the presence of the fruitioning of klesha or karma patterns. Then Purusha is Purusha. We know what is Purusha, that which is that software modem in us, which actually is God, correct? Each one, we said, each one has God inside us, and that really the consciousness, that is the piece of software. But here he defines that, he goes and uses an adjective. He says, Vishesha, Purusha, Vishesha. Vishesha Purusha. We can change it that way. Vishesha Purusha. Vishesha is special. Special Purusha. He is that special Purusha. Distinguished. Specific. So, Vishesha Purusha means the special Purusha. It is not the Purusha that we have here. It is the special Purusha. That special Purusha is Ishvara. So, if you put all these things together in summary, it means God or Ishvara or the controller is the special Purusha who is untouched by the presence of the fruitioning of klesha and karma patterns. What does it mean? It means zone A that we saw, that's where Ishvara is. He is untouched by all these other things that are happening in zone B and zone C. So, which means he has no rebirth. He does not collect karma and kleshas. He doesn't have any of those things. He is absolutely 100% pure. Any questions here before I move on? Okay. Tatra, Sutra 25, Tatra, Niratrishyam, Sarvanya Tattva Bijam. Tattva, we don't have to worry about it because it is in parenthesis. It means this is present in some text, but it does not alter the meaning of the sutra. Please understand, all these sutras were not written by Patanjali Muni. He only lectured. Maybe when he lectured, he had a group of disciples sitting in front of him, and he gave a lecture. So over thousands of years, all these things have, by word of mouth, came down until such time Vyasa Muni took all these things and he converted it into script. So remember that. So, and because of that, as he is speaking to, let us say, like me, he's speaking to 30 students or to 30 participants. And then after Patanjali Muni was deceased, then these disciples, they go to the world and they spread it out. And each one is spreading it based on what they heard. By and large, it is the same, but here and there could be some minor differences, some extra words could be there. That's what we are seeing. Tatra means there. Niratishyam means unsurpassed. Unsurpassed. Sarvajnana. Jnana we know. Wisdom. Sarvajnana. All knowing. All knowing. Sarva means all. Entire. Sarvajnana means all knowing. Tattva. Tattvam. That's what we say in Tamil. Tattva is principle. Bijam is seed. Many of you would have heard of this word Bijam. When they say Bija mantra, etc., it means seed mantra. Like how we do the chakra dhyana with the seed mantra, Bija mantra, lambam, etc. Those are all, that's called seed. Bijam, that is just implying source. Sarvajnana Bijam. Sarvajnana Bijam means source of all knowledge. Source of all knowledge or all principles. So, who is this God? That's what you're saying. Who this God is, we don't know, right? We don't know who this God is, and we have a very convoluted picture of God. A caricature is what we are carrying based on what our parents have told us, what we have picked up from here and there. We don't have a full picture. So he's giving that picture, he's defining. So there in God, there in that Ishvara, is the unsurpassed source, the seed of all knowledge, of all principles. Is this clear? Okay. Next sutra. Sa esha purvesham api guruhu kalena annavachyadedat. Annavachyadat. Sorry, anavachyadat. Kalena anavachyadat. Sa esha purvesham api guruhu kalena anavachyadat. Okay, let us see. This is a very important sutra again. All these are defining Ishvara. Sa esha means that him, Ishvara. Purvesham, Purva Kavisa. And every time that Purva comes means, whenever it comes, it means before. Purvesham means those of the past. Api is, we have seen this, Api means also. Guru, who is the Guru or teacher. Kalena, by time. Anavichedat, unbroken. So what he says here is, who is this God? This God is also the Guru or teacher of those people of the past, all those great souls that have come on earth. Right? All those great souls that have come on earth, all that we know, Krishna, Rama, all those various avatars, Jesus Christ, Muhammad, the Prophet, all those, Baba, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Ramana Maharishi, Adi Shankara, all the gurus, all the teachers. He is also the guru teacher of all those people of the past, uninterrupted by time, is what it is. It's God. Implication is God is the real guru at all times. It is only that Ishvara who is the guru. So when you call somebody as guru, let us say I call somebody as guru, unless I see that person as that Ishvara, I must see that person as Ishvara, and which means I should not be attached to this physical body of this being. That is the catch there. And that is why he says earlier that Videha, that sutra he says, this is what the catch. When we attach ourselves to a particular form, not realizing that form, whatever inputs that form is giving to us, whatever guidance, whatever teaching is coming from that Ishvara, Ishvara is the source of all knowledge. Every knowledge is coming from there. So I'm going to stop here and continue next week because we have covered a lot of ground. And a few more definitions are there. That's okay. This is a good amount of definition that we have seen today. I'm going to stop here and throw open the session for questions. Go ahead, people. Your chance now to talk. If you don't talk, then I will talk.
There's a lot covered and a lot to digest before we ask any questions.
Yeah. Before you digest, if if you have questions, ask those questions. So I don't want you to go and have indigestion. That's why I'm saying. Okay. What I'm going to do is give you another opportunity. I'm going to bring up this PPT, and maybe it will make a little bit more sense because we have covered some sutras today, all the zone A, zone B, etc. So everyone okay with you? I'll bring it up. Let's go to this. Okay. So this is what we are talking about, right? In the sutra starting from 23, I believe. Yes. Sutra 23, we said, Ishvara pranidhanatva, or by surrender to Ishvara. So this is that Ishvara we are talking about. It's mentioned here also in this box, Ishvara. Cosmic intelligence resides with Ishvara or Sattva Purusha. So that's what we saw, the definition of who is this Ishvara. We saw the definition of Ishvara in the about 4 or 5 sutras that we covered. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we stopped at 26. And 3 more sutras that will complete the definition as well as Bhakti Yoga. We will do that. We'll handle that tomorrow. I mean, next week, next Saturday. So this is what we saw. And we know, and this also says zone A, the creator, zone A, the creator, the main architect behind this creation. Creation, when we say creation, not just what we see, but there's so much that we cannot see, all that, the entire cosmos. So who created all this? Yeah, he gave the design. And then to do the work, he launched Prakriti, correct? This is zone B. And to do that, to do all these various things, he gave Prakriti, he created Prakriti. And then Prakriti, in turn, she is the CEO of creation. So she appointed a manager called, she appointed a president called the cosmic chitta to create the various chittas and various things. And then the cosmic chitta is the one that launches various chittas like you and me, animals, birds, plants, all this, animate and inanimate. Everything has a chitta. Please understand this. Everything in creation has a chitta. All these are that chitta, but here we are restricting ourselves to the Homo sapiens so that it's easy for us to relate. So, zone B is the zone of disembodied beings. Only software is present there, correct? The chittas are present there. So this is the world of spirits that we are talking about. So all the Pitrus, all the forefathers, they're all there, hanging out here. Maybe for rebirth, or some of them are freed of rebirth. They are all there. Connected to the cosmic chitta, connected to Prakriti. And because the individual chittas have a link, remember, have a link to Ishvara. We have two connections. One is to Ishvara, the Divine Father, and another to Divine Mother, Prakriti. So zone B is where all the various beings that have not attained moksha or kaivalyam will be hanging out here. Only the tiny percentage which has attained kaivalyam would merge with Ishvara. We will see sutras on this as we go on. I just wanted to make this point here. So this entire area is with people, is with chittas that have not attained moksha. So our goal is not to hang out in zone B. Our goal is to merge with Ishvara. We have kept the highest as our goal. So let us not move away from that. Keep that as our goal. If you want to merge, if you want to be a true Advaiti, Yogeshwaran, nicely hear what I'm saying. If you want to be a true Advaiti, then you have to merge with Ishvara. If you want to merge with Ishvara, you have to get rid of having all these beliefs, connections with the world of spirits. Otherwise, you will end up there. You won't go beyond that. Up to a certain point, we need some pointers. Let me say, follow Ramana Maharishi. So I will be praying to Ramana Maharishi. And once I get this understanding and jnana from Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, then I must move away from that. That's what an intelligent person will do. Instead of getting stuck there, saying, no. Patanjali Muni was connected to Ishvara, so I will also get connected. No, it's not like that. We have to make that connection. We have to make that connection. See, each chitta has a connection to the cosmic intelligence, to Ishvara. So we have to make use of that connection. So this is what I want to bring up. Many get stuck in zone B and they don't move out of that. They stay, they get stuck there. Any questions?
So we cannot follow any particular way of life, right? You have to renounce everything.
Renounce what?
Renounce whatever way we have been adhering to, following. Get to the Ishvara, we have to, renounce all of those beliefs and paths.
That is your choice. If you want to merge with him, that is your choice. If you don't want to merge with him and you want to hang out in zone B, actually Vishishta Advaita, you will be hanging out in zone B, but in a very, very high state with a direct connection, fully activated with some souls choose that. Some cosmic, some chittas choose that. The devas have chosen that. Like Dhruva, he didn't want to merge with Ishvara. He wanted to be there. So he's still there. His chitta is still here in zone B. But in a very high state of connectivity. But if I don't want to have any of that, I want to be fully merged. That's it. I don't want any of my programs. I don't want any trace of the fact that I ever was launched. Then I have to get here. That is what we are calling as Kaivalyam.
Namaste, Guru. Is it not too late
No, Guru.
to...
No, Guru. Who is this?
Okay, I'm Rajeshri. This is the first
No,
time I
Guru.
joined.
Call me
Okay.
by name. Yes. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, sir. Now, to I mean, is it not too late for us to, like, we are getting the knowledge now at this age? I'm 54 now. So, do I have time to, like, leave everything, get detached with everything, the people around me, the kids, all relations? I can't get detached now. So, it's too late for me to get connected to the God, the ultimate. So, the karma plays here, I think. So if I had good karmas, I would have been like, I would have got this knowledge when I was born.
Okay. Let me pause you right here. You asked a question. Do I have the time? Because I'm starting so late in life. You are 54 or 55, whatever. And then you followed up saying, oh, I have all this, like, blah, blah, blah. So this is how the mind convinces, saying, oh, put it off for the next birth. I'll have a better opportunity next birth. Next birth, I will start at the age of 7 itself. This is how we put off. How we put off things on earth, various activities, how we put off. That's how we put off this also. It does not matter when you start. It depends on the intensity. It depends on the vairagyam. How quickly you can detach. Detachment is not indifference. Detachment is not running away from your parental responsibilities or responsibility of a child towards your parents. None of that. None of that. I'm a householder too. I have a wife. Both of us live in this house. I have children. I have grandchildren. So are many of the people who are spiritually evolving in this group. It's what we want. The reason why we are born at all is to merge with, to do all this sadhana and merge with Ishvara. That is the goal of life. But we get distracted with all these kleshas. We get distracted, get attached to all those various things. And then we don't want to move out. And then we give reasons. Oh, I have this responsibility, that responsibility. How can I'm starting at the age of 54. How will I start? I started at the age of 41. But I mean, the first initiation was at the age of 41. But I did not really wake up, or I did not have the real indoctrination until I was 66. Until then, it was various stages, little by little, little here, little there. Only at 66, or actually 67, I should say, 2020, when I had the opportunity to study Patanjali Yoga Sutras, everything I understood, everything clicked in. Saying that,
What about
based on my karma, one day there will be a board which says, hey, Rajeshwari, please come here to this class. You will get moksha. If you are waiting for that, it's not going to happen like that. This is a call for you, Rajeshwari, from Ishvara. This call came 1.5 months back. And it won't come when you have set everything away. Yeah, all the responsibilities in life have been completed. There are no worries. Everything is in place. Your children are taking care of everything on their own. Your spouse is taking care of his things on his own. Your in-laws or your parents, they are all taking care of their things on their own. Everything is in place, everything is beautifully moving, and you have nothing else to do every day excepting to wake up, get ready, eat, do whatever you need. If you are waiting for such a thing, it's never going to happen. In Tamil, we say, ala onj, that is, you go to a beach and you want to set your feet into the water and you say, okay, I will do this when the waves stop coming. Will it ever? You have to get your feet wet even as the waves are coming. That's the only way. Oh, go ahead. You had a question. Yes. I'm giving some very bitter medicine. It is a harsh truth that I'm giving.
Yes.
And not everyone is going to be ready in this group for this bitter medicine. And some will take only one hundredth of the drop that I'm giving. Some will take the entire drop. Some will take only 50%. Some will take only 20% of that bitter medicine. Some will take not 1 point, not 1% of that. So based on that, the revolution will be decided. Go ahead, Rajashree. You had to continue. You had a follow-up question.
No, I'm fine.
Okay. I shut you off, correct?
Yes, you did.
Thank you. Any other question?
Yeah, Kumar, I have an observation or a question.
Yeah.
From all this yoga, manage your gunas and become detached and in your approach, and all the creation, you see beyond your belief and conviction, and reach a state where you are ready to connect with the energy. That's up to night 21. That's what I understood that saying. There, and the other one, bhakti, is just surrender to God, whatever way, and you reach the same state. So both are reaching the same state. So
Correct.
one is a little bit, lot of effort where you look at questioning, you look at intuition and convince yourself, then go beyond your ego. All that, at the speed with which you are putting your effort, compared to that, just surrender and you reach the same place. Is that a correct understanding?
Correct. But
Okay.
this surrender is a very big word. And surrender is not prostrating in front of God in the puja room. Surrender is not going to the temple and prostrating in the temple. Surrender is not doing rituals. None of that is surrender. It's a very big word. You must read about the Nayanmars and Arvas about what is surrender. That gives a glimpse. I mean, I always bring up this. In one Nayanmar, Kannappa Nayanar, he is a hunter. And he suddenly comes upon Shiva Linga, and then this is in the forest, covered with leaves and things like so. Every day when he goes for hunting, after he sighted this linga, he would bring water in his mouth and then spit it on the linga to wash it off, and then whatever wild flowers are there, he will decorate it. And then he's a hunter, so with whatever animal he has hunted, some meat he will offer. He will put it on the close to the linga as an offering, as prasada, and then he will go. And then one day, you all know this, right? One day, one of the eyes of the linga, from the linga, when we say eyes, from the linga, he saw, as he was doing this worship, he saw blood coming. Oh, he said, oh my God, one eye of the Lord, the blood is coming. So he pulled out his eyeball and put it there. Once he finished that, the second one started bleeding. And then when he was about to take out the second eyeball is when Ishvara manifested and he said, stop. And then he gave back his eyesight and all that. So this kind of, that is surrender. Do we have that? Our surrender is all very convenience oriented. So don't think that bhakti yoga is any easy. Very, very difficult. Very difficult. So you must read about Andal, how her bhakti was. And then you will understand what is that surrender. Actually, the same surrender can come to you through the karma yoga path also, or the jnana yoga path, whatever path. Later on, Patanjali Muni is going, after he finish this from the third section onwards, it's going to be jnana yoga. Now here and there there will be a little bit of karma yoga and bhakti yoga, but most of this 196 sutras are on jnana yoga. Finally, I won't say finally, somewhere during this process of understanding all this, that surrender will come. In that surrender, a lot of intuitions will come, a lot of realizations will come. And I want to give an example. We have exactly maybe 10 minutes, slightly less than 10. Okay, I'm going to stop the share here. Any questions on this PPT? Otherwise, I'm going to stop. Any follow-up question, Mohan, before I give the example?
No, I think you answered. My implication was that exactly what you said. I thought it was easier to follow that bhakti yoga. You are
No
saying that
yoga is easy. Let me say that. No yoga is easy. Actually, in Bhagavad Gita, they call this detached karma yoga as karma sannyasa yoga. Actually, Tammy put in that sannyasi word in that chat. So it is actually called karma sannyasa yoga. Sannyasa means detachment. That's why she put that word sannyasi there. A sannyasi is one who is 100% detached, not indifferent. Please understand, people, indifference is completely different. It is not detachment. Detachment is filled with compassion and love. Indifference is not that. Indifference is exactly opposite of that. An antonym of detachment is indifference.
okay.
Anyway,
I
yeah.
will ask one more question, a little bit jumping ahead or going forward. This question is, we are talking all about individual chitta vitra and
Chitta vritti and chitta.
vritti
Yes.
and klesha, individual klesha, right?
Correct.
How does Yoga Sutra, does it later on manage or address others' klesha as we see it? And does that advocate either correcting it or protecting others from others' klesha? How do you look at it?
I don't think there is any explicit reference to that as a sutra. But we are going to study a lot about karmas in chapter 2 and 3. So we will see if there is anything like that over there.
Okay.
You wanted to say something, Tammy?
I just want to say, you start learning surrender when you start practicing it. So
Yeah.
that's how you learn where it lives. So the 121 and 122, I think a lot of people ask me a lot of questions about how I learned what I learned and all that. And I was 54 when I met you, Kumar. That's when
Yes.
I was 54. And I had all that.
That's,
So yeah, 121 and 122.
see, when I met you, I was 66.
Mm.
2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
2020, I was 67.
Mm.
So I wasn't free of everything. Maybe I had some background information, that's all. But it is just reading the sutras again and again and again and again and listening to Dr. Rajan and pondering and reflecting. That's how it comes about. Obviously, the grace from above. Mohan brought up this topic, and then the connectivity with the divine. It's not enough that I get all this samprajnata, chittavrittis, everything quietened down, and that awareness has come samprajna, and this is only one hand. The other hand has to also be extended, right? The divine has to extend its hand to make that connectivity. So that's the divine's choice. When it will do, that's the divine's choice. But doesn't mean that we can give up. We have to do our part. Just because you try for 10 days and nothing happens, if you give up, so sad. The entire lifetime has been given to us to try for that connectivity. At some point it will happen. If you want it. Okay. I'm going to quickly
Kumar, I don't think I knew that I wanted whatever you just said. Like, I didn't know that I wanted connection. I was just following the path. So I didn't like set goals, I don't think. For me, my goal was to find my karma so I could be happy, right? And surrender.
yeah, I mean, this connectivity, it has to happen on its own. We can do our part. All this cleaning the karma, kleshas, all that we can do. And do the sadhanas, all that we can do.
And
The
it just came.
connectivity, yes, we can prepare the ground.
Mhm.
We can prepare the ground for it to sprout and become a plant. It's the divine that has to make happen. Like how the doctors say, the doctors apply the bandage, but for the healing, it is the divine that has to make the healing. Anyway, like I said, how this surrender comes about, I wanted to give an example with all this understanding. I don't know how many of you have noticed, I wear hearing aid. Can you see? Everyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
You
sir.
can see. Okay. So yesterday, sometime afternoon, I think, suddenly I realized one of the hearing aid was not working. Then I tried a few things, it did not work. And then normally the hearing aid. So normally, when the hearing aid is turned on, it comes with the green light and then it goes away. And then when I want to turn it off, the same button, when I press it, after a few seconds, it will come with the red light and it will turn off. Both while going off and while coming on, it plays two different tunes. So I know that one is turning off, the other is turning on. All this is all inbuilt. And also there is the microphone on top of the hearing aid. So if I just put my finger and scratch it, I can hear the scratching noise. So I tried many times, no noise, dead. But the buttons on the hearing aid were working because the volume control button, normally any one, if you press, the other one also increases or decreases. If I press the right one also, the left one also increase simultaneously, synchronously they increase, and synchronously they decrease. So when I press the left button, I could hear the click from the right hearing aid. That means this button is working. That means the electronic stuff is working. Only thing is I'm not hearing. So this, I just could not understand. Then I said, okay, obviously something is wrong. So I took it out. There is the, what as a user you can do is generally you clean out, there is a wax stopper. I took it out, I put a new one, all that I did. No effect. I have done this earlier, immediately it will have effect, no effect. So I didn't know what to do. And then I said, okay, with one hearing aid, I can still manage. It's not that even with both, without both hearing aids, I can still manage. It's not I cannot, but with bit of difficulty, and especially when then I said tomorrow morning I have a class, and there's already 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. So I called the service people, and I could get an appointment until next Thursday. Okay, to have this serviced. Then I said, then I had a short nap in the afternoon, and when I woke up, I said, hey, they had given me a spare set of, actually these are the speakers. They had given me a spare set of speakers for each hearing aid. These are the spare set, very tiny ones. So I said, maybe I should try this. And then, this is not normally a user can do. You have to do it only at the service place. But I'm an electronics engineer. So I said, okay, let me take, I evaluated the risk. Already it is not working. No, what can happen if I pull it out and put another one? If it doesn't work, it still doesn't work, right? No big deal. So I pulled out what was there, and I put the one that I had. Immediately started working. So the problem was with the speaker. So who gave this intelligence? Mohan.
Ishwara.
My bloody electronics background. That's what the rational mind will say. That's what I would have said 30 years back. I had an afternoon nap with this question. What do I do for tomorrow's class? In about less than 10 minutes, I think. It got fixed. When you recognize that each and every aspect is coming from that source, that's what we read as sutra, right? It's the bijam, it is the seed of unsurpassed knowledge. Then it will extend its hand whenever you want it. Whenever you desperately need something, it will be there. But you have to recognize it. And I need not have changed it, right? I have never done anything with hearing aids. I am not a hearing aid specialist or an engineer. But that intelligence says, what do you lose? Already it is not working. So go ahead. And it tells me, hey, oh, you have a pair. Yeah, this comes from memory, correct? That's what we would normally say. But even to tickle that memory, you will say, oh, because you are in a crisis, you are thinking various aspects. Come on, give me a break. When we speak like that, this is the rational mind. This is what it will do. It will only put you down. This is what is the aspect of surrender. So when you surrender and you say, oh, what will I do? I'm not a hearing aid specialist and I don't know what to do and I need this. Then bingo, the answer comes. Do this. As an electronics, if the same thing had come to a non-electronics engineer, it's probably difficult for them to do this. Correct? To take that risk. They need a nose plier to pull it out. And you must know the correct alignment, how to put it back. So all that I know, I have been trained in the trade. Even before pulling out, I know what is the orientation it should be so that I know how to put it back. It doesn't say which should be a top, which should be bottom, all that it doesn't tell. Anyway, this is what I want to bring out. And today I'm enjoying the class as I normally do because, because of Ishwara's intervention last afternoon. So this is how you connect. Earlier also it could have happened, okay? See, Ishwara will never say, I am Ishwara, I am telling you this, please do. He's not going to make that announcement. He's not going to make that announcement. It is for us to make that recognition. Yogeshwaran, are you connecting? Are you following what I'm saying?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Lavanya, are you understanding? Sri Lakshmi,
Yeah.
are you understanding?
Yeah.
There are two Sri Lakshmis.
Right, sir.
One behind Yogeshwaran and one here. So this is how you recognize the divine's hand. I mean, this is a very small thing that I said, but every small thing matters. Every small thing, that is how you get fine-tuned, 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 fine-tuned. Then anything you will pick up. So on that note, actually, I want to talk about the phases of the moon. And I mean, I wanted to discuss about the moon a little bit. I don't have time. We'll do that. I wanted to give that example, which I promised Mohan. I will do that next week without fail. Okay.
Thank you,
Tammy,
sir.
enjoying yourself in Arizona, looking at all the stars?
It's New Mexico.
New
Yeah.
Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah, we need a non-cloudy night.
Oh.
We're way up. We're at 6,000 feet altitude. But yeah,
Very nice.
it's a beautiful experience. Yeah. Thank you.
Any other quick question before we wind up? So next week we will start from Sutra 27. Sutra 27. Let me make a note for myself. And also, I will talk about that experience of mine starting in 6th grade when I had that question, and finally it was revealed when I was in college. I need a good 15-20 minutes. You know, I have to give all that all that hype. So I cannot do, although it can be said in 2-3 minutes, you know, I really like to give a nice story, 15-20 minutes. So next week, without giving any, right at the 1 hour cutoff, right at that, I will start this. I will give this, right? Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Namaste.
Namaste, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye.